What happens when America's sweetheart meets her match in an interview that spirals completely out of control? Today, we're diving into the explosive moment when Kelly Clarkson stormed off the Today with Jenna and Friends set after a confrontation nobody saw coming. The morning started like any other promotional tour stop. Jenna Bush Hager welcomed Kelly with her usual pleasantries, and everything seemed perfectly normal as they settled into the familiar rhythm of morning television banter. Kelly laughed at Jenna's jokes and teased some exclusive details about her new music. "So, Kelly, your fans are absolutely obsessed with your new single," Jenna began. "But I have to ask about something that's been circulating online. There are rumors about some tension behind the scenes of your talk show. Care to address that?" Kelly's smile faltered for just a second. "You know, every workplace has its challenges, but I'm incredibly grateful for my team and the show we've built together," Jenna pressed on. "But specifically, there have been reports about your management style being, let's say, demanding. Some former employees have used the word toxic when describing the work environment." The temperature in the studio seemed to drop. Kelly's smile remained in place, but her eyes hardened slightly. "I think that's a pretty harsh characterization, Jenna. I have high standards because I care about putting out quality content for our viewers." "Of course," Jenna continued. "But when multiple sources are saying the same thing, doesn't that give you pause? I mean, there are stories about people being fired for minor mistakes, unrealistic expectations, staff members crying in bathrooms." Kelly's hands clasped together tightly. "I think we should probably focus on the music, don't you think? That's what I'm here to talk about." "Absolutely," Jenna replied. "But you've always been so open about your struggles. Your authenticity is what people love about you. So when there are these allegations about creating a hostile work environment, fans want to hear your side of the story." "My side of the story?" Kelly's voice had an edge now. "Jenna, I've been nothing but professional and supportive to every single person who works with me. I don't know where these stories are coming from, but they're not accurate." Jenna consulted her notes, not ready to let this go. "Well, there's a specific incident that was reported where you allegedly screamed at a production assistant for bringing you the wrong coffee order. The person said you made them redo your entire dressing room setup because you were upset." "That is absolutely not true," Kelly said firmly, her voice rising slightly. "I have never screamed at anyone on my staff about coffee or anything else. That's completely fabricated." "So, you're saying these multiple reports are all lies? That former employees are just making things up?" Kelly took a deep breath. "I'm saying that sometimes when people leave a job, they might have different perspectives on situations that occurred, but I stand by my character and my treatment of the people I work with." The tension in the studio was palpable. "Kelly, I have to push back a little bit here," Jenna said, her tone becoming more confrontational. "We're talking about a pattern of behavior that multiple people have described consistently. At what point do you take responsibility for creating an environment where people feel they can't speak up?" Jenna pushed. "Take responsibility for what, exactly?" Kelly's voice was getting louder now, her warmth completely gone. "For having standards, for expecting people to do their jobs, for caring about the quality of what we produce?" "No," Jenna replied, "for creating a culture of fear where employees are afraid to make mistakes." "That's ridiculous, Jenna. You're sitting here making accusations based on anonymous sources and gossip, and you're asking me to defend myself against things that didn't happen the way they're being portrayed." The studio fell silent. Kelly stared at Jenna with an expression that could cut glass. "You know what, Jenna?" Kelly said, breaking the silence with a humorless laugh. "I came here to talk about my music, to connect with fans, to have a nice conversation. I didn't come here to be ambushed with tabloid gossip and hit pieces." "This isn't an ambush, Kelly. This is journalism. When public figures have serious allegations made about them, we have a responsibility to ask the tough questions. Journalism? Kelly's eyebrows shot up. Is that what we're calling this? Because it feels more like a setup to me. Did someone from my former management company reach out to you? Is this some kind of coordinated attack? Jenna looked genuinely taken aback. Kelly, nobody reached out to us. These stories are out there in the public domain. We're just giving you a platform to address them. A platform? You mean a trap? You invited me here under false pretenses. You told my team we'd be talking about the album and the tour, and now you're blindsiding me with character assassination. One of Jenna's co-hosts tried to jump in. Maybe we could talk about the new songs, Kelly. Your fans are really excited about the direction you're taking with this album. But Kelly's attention was laser-focused on Jenna. No, I want to finish this conversation. Since Jenna here thinks she's doing important journalism, let's talk about journalism ethics. Did you reach out to me or my representatives for comment before you decided to air these allegations on national television? We're giving you the opportunity to respond right now, Jenna replied, but her confidence was starting to waver. That's not how it works, and you know it. Real journalists don't surprise their interview subjects with serious allegations without prior notice. They don't use their platform to spread unverified claims from anonymous sources. The studio was dead quiet, except for Kelly's voice, which was getting stronger and more pointed with each word. Let me ask you something, Jenna, Kelly continued, leaning forward. How many of these anonymous sources did you actually speak to directly? How many of them went on the record with their names attached to their claims? Kelly, I think we're getting off track here. No, I think this is exactly the track we should be on. You want to play journalist? Then let's talk about journalistic standards. Did you corroborate these stories with multiple independent sources? Did you give me adequate time to prepare a response to specific allegations? Jenna was clearly flustered now. We followed all appropriate protocols. What protocols? Making me look like a monster on live television based on internet rumors? Is that in the NBC handbook? The co-host tried again to redirect. Kelly, we're all on the same side here. Nobody wants to make you look bad. Really? Kelly turned to him with disbelief. Because from where I'm sitting, it sure feels like that's exactly what's happening. I've been in this business for over 20 years. I know the difference between a legitimate interview and a hit job. It's not a hit job, Jenna protested, but her voice lacked conviction. Then, what would you call it? I came here in good faith to promote my work, and instead I'm being treated like I'm some kind of tyrant boss who terrorizes my employees. Do you have any idea what this kind of coverage does to someone's reputation, to their business, to their family? Kelly's voice cracked slightly on the word family, and for a moment, the vulnerability that made her so beloved showed through. It was quickly replaced by a steely determination. My children are going to see this. My friends, my actual employees, people who know the real me, they're going to watch this and wonder why I'm not defending myself properly. Well, here's my defense. These allegations are false. They're hurtful, and they're being presented without context or evidence. Kelly, we're not trying to hurt you, the co-host said softly. But you are hurting me, she replied. You're hurting me, and you're doing it on purpose because you think it makes for good television. You think controversy drives ratings, so you're willing to destroy someone's character for content. Jenna found her voice again, trying to regain control. That's not fair. We're asking legitimate questions about serious allegations. Legitimate questions? Kelly stood up abruptly, startling everyone. Jenna, let me ask you a legitimate question. Have you ever managed a team of creative professionals? Have you ever been responsible for a multi-million-dollar production with dozens of moving parts and hundreds of people depending on you for their livelihood? That's not relevant to whether you treat people with respect, Jenna replied. It's absolutely relevant. You're sitting there judging my management style when you have no idea what it's like to be in my position. You have no understanding of the pressures, the responsibilities, the impossible standards that everyone expects you to meet while also being sunshine and rainbows every single second of every single day. Kelly was pacing now. Do you know what it's like to have every decision you make scrutinized, every conversation analyzed, every facial expression interpreted as evidence of your character? Because that's my reality, Jenna. That's the world you've chosen to contribute to with this ambush interview. Kelly, please sit down so we can have a civilized discussion about this. Kelly laughed bitterly. Civilized? There's nothing civilized about what you just did to me. You want to talk about toxic behavior? Let's talk about using your platform to spread unverified gossip about someone who trusted you enough to come on your show. The silence that followed Kelly's words was deafening. Jenna sat frozen in her chair, clearly unprepared for Kelly to fight back this hard. You know what the real tragedy is here? Kelly continued, her voice now deadly calm. I actually respected you, Jenna. I thought you were different from the tabloid vultures who twist everything for clicks. I thought you had integrity. Kelly, I do have integrity. That's exactly why I had to ask these questions. No, integrity would have been calling my publicist yesterday and saying, hey, we want to address these rumors. Can Kelly prepare a statement? Integrity would have been giving me the courtesy of knowing what I was walking into. This, Kelly gestured around the studio, this is cowardice disguised as journalism. Jenna's co-host made one last desperate attempt to salvage the situation. Maybe we could take a quick break and regroup. Start fresh with the music discussion. Kelly turned to him with an expression of pure disbelief. Start fresh? Are you serious? You think we can just pretend the last 10 minutes didn't happen? You think I'm going to sit back down and smile and talk about my tour dates after being publicly humiliated? It doesn't have to be humiliation, Jenna said quietly. This could be an opportunity for you to set the record straight, to show your side of the story. My side of the story? Kelly's voice rose again. Jenna, I've been telling you my side of the story for the past 10 minutes, and you keep dismissing everything I say. You've already made up your mind about who I am based on anonymous gossip and internet rumors. Every time I try to explain or defend myself, you come back with another accusation, another anonymous source, another reason why I should be ashamed of myself. You're not looking for my side of the story. You're looking for a confession. The tension in the room was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Kelly stood there, staring at Jenna, who remained silent. When it became clear Jenna wasn't going to say anything, Kelly shook her head slowly. This is exactly what's wrong with media today. You've forgotten that there are real human beings behind these stories you're so eager to tell. You've forgotten that words have consequences, that reputations matter, that people have families and feelings and lives that extend beyond your segment. Kelly, we never intended to hurt you. But you did. Hurt me, Jenna. You hurt me in front of millions of people, and you did it deliberately. You made a choice to prioritize sensationalism over truth, drama over decency. Kelly walked over to her purse and picked it up with deliberate slowness. Everyone in the studio watched her movements. I want to be very clear about something, Kelly said, turning back to face the cameras. To anyone watching this who works with me, who has worked with me, or who might work with me in the future, I want you to know that I would never intentionally create an environment where people feel unsafe or unwelcome. Are my standards high? Absolutely. Do I expect professionalism and excellence? Without question. But I have never and would never abuse or mistreat the people who helped make my show possible. Her voice was steady now, controlled, and to the viewers who have supported me throughout my career, I want you to know that this is not who I am. This angry, defensive person you're seeing right now, this isn't me. This is what happens when someone tries to assassinate your character on live television without giving you a fair chance to defend yourself. Jenna finally found her voice. Kelly, we're giving you that chance right now. Kelly looked at her with what might have been pity. No, Jenna, you're not. You're giving me the chance to grovel, to apologize for things I didn't do, to validate your narrative. That's not the same thing. She adjusted the strap of her purse and took a deep breath. I've spent my entire career trying to lift people up, trying to use my platform to spread positivity and hope. I've shared my struggles with depression, with divorce, with body image, because I wanted other people to know they're not alone in their pain. And this is how I get repaid? With character assassination disguised as journalism. The co-host made one final plea. Kelly, please don't leave like this. Let's find a way to end this on a positive note. Kelly looked at him for a long moment, then shook her head. You know, what would be positive? If journalists remembered that their job is to inform, not to destroy. If morning show hosts remembered that their platform comes with responsibility. If people in this industry started treating each other with basic human decency, instead of seeing each other as content to be consumed. She started walking toward the edge of the set. And Jenna, the next time you want to ambush someone with serious allegations on live television, maybe make sure you have your facts straight first. Because this isn't journalism. This is just cruelty, with better lighting. With that, Kelly Clarkson walked off the set, leaving behind a stunned studio, a speechless host, and a moment that would be replayed and analyzed for days to come. The cameras kept rolling as Jenna sat there in shock. The interview that was supposed to promote Kelly's new album had instead become a masterclass in how quickly things can go wrong when journalism crosses the line into sensationalism and when America's sweetheart finally reaches her breaking point.